by various measures. But anyway, there we go. So gonna be right now heading into a second game. It's gonna be on Ghost Lake. Ghost Lake actually is fairly fast and quickly becoming one of my favorite maps lately. When I was playing those 15 years ago, it wasn't all that favorite, which might have had to do with the original map spawns, which are sometimes kind of funny. So I didn't exactly like playing on it all that much because they could have been unreliable as far as the food sources go. But here on the balance patch, when we are watching, especially when I'm watching the players play, they usually revolve around quite a lot of aggression. The TCs are fairly unsafe most of the times, so you have to be fighting for them quite a bit. So therefore, it makes for fun and engaging gameplay, and of course the lake in the middle is also making it a bit harder for the players to turtle properly and wall up as much. Well, if you have actually watched yesterday's games, in here you can remember the Wonder War there. That was definitely something, placing the Wonder in the corner and whatnot. So if you are interested in that one, then you can be finding it in the past broadcast here on the channel from yesterday. It was near the end, like next to last game, I think, or something like that. Next to last or before. So it was close by to the end in there. And that was quite something. In the end, we're gonna be right now watching all around here, as unfortunately this gold mine is beyond a bit of a wall of the trees, but it's not exactly all that huge, so that's basically two. It should be fairly easy to cut through by the villagers, so in the end, once he's gonna be through, this kind of combination is gonna be fairly alright. It's gonna be all about, though, the back gold mines, which there is already one. I'm pretty certain there's gonna be a secondary one somewhere in the darkness here next to the hill, and it's apparently gonna be present on this map. And for the opponent, so far they see only one gold mine behind the front TC for Matreiuss, which seems to be a reasonably okay position, considering he's having another gold mine fairly close to the base, which he probably can kind of like wall off through a few military buildings, I would be expecting. And the matchup is, yeah, well, good point that we actually haven't seen that, because we were having blind pick, and it's gonna be Matreiuss with Loki, Count and Oranos, and it's gonna be the same for the other players. But they are switching over the gods. Well, switching over the gods. Gold line is gonna be switching from the north into Oranos, so basically his main god. Well, main god. It kinda is his main god, but especially in team games, he has kinda learned to be playing Egyptians quite often. So at this point, it's his original main god, let's say. Is his original main god. That's probably better set at this point for Gold Lion. So otherwise he can be playing pretty much all the gods quite competently, but Aegis and Atlanteans, that's certainly something that he excels at. All the way in the corner, there's gonna be the map for the gold for Count, as they're gonna be having quite a nice hunt behind the base. There's gonna be one still in the front, which is quite bountiful. So this seems to me that this is gonna be one of the higher spawn as far as hunt goes, but so far we don't see anything in the middle into the front. That's fairly interesting. So are they... This is kind of weird. So it almost seems that basically this huge spawn should be resulting into like higher spawn of overall food everywhere. But it almost seems to me that actually this is gonna be like the only hunt from what I can see on the minimap. So it's gonna be exactly the opposite. They're gonna be having enough hunt to start with, but then they're gonna be having absolutely nothing. As right now the relic all the way to the back is gonna be hidden on a bit of a hill. It's gonna be having the favoritical quality to it, and on the left there's gonna be one for villagers kill animals a single shot. Well, that's gonna be pretty useless in this one gameplay and this one game. This TC is gonna be pretty useless as well for Count unless there's gonna be gold hugging it, which is not entirely impossible, but at the same time, no, well, it could be actually possible, because so far we don't see all that many gold mines all that much on the map altogether, as this one is gonna be slightly better for gold line. By slightly I mean like about 100% better, as it's not only gonna be capturing the gold, but it's also fairly nicely tactical position as far as controlling the whole top side of the map, and also a bit of a outreach to the middle of the map into icicles and through ice on the water. So there's gonna be another relic in the middle for tower ranged melee attack, gonna be potentially useful once the players are gonna be deciding to be going for a bit of aggression, as the goatees are gonna be spread out properly for Count, and he's gonna be having a right now advance through Prometheus at about 4:30. That seems to be quite a solid timing for him. Let's switch on the other side of the map, where Gold Line is gonna be advancing only now. So what kind of difference is he actually having right now? 2 on gold, 1 on wood. Oh no, 2 on wood. 3 on wood. 2 on gold, 3 on wood. So 2 on gold, 1, 2, 2 on wood. So that's gonna be pretty much the difference in here, it seems to me. He's gonna be having 2 on food still. Green is probably gonna be having still 2 on food, or is it only 1? Yeah, right now he's gonna be second on on here, but he's switching from the wood, so they're apparently going for slightly different build orders in there, as you could have already seen from the difference in the advanced times. There's quite an important scouting all the way through back. You can see that the Lokis are going both for Forceti, but are they going for the same strategy and same tactics? It seems like the Longhouse is going to be the second building for matreiuss. HerroOP is going to be coming for pretty much the same. Gonna be also dropping the Longhouse, but advancing a bit later. He gets, of course, the Ankofra as it spawned right behind his base. But otherwise, they seem to be really going for fairly similar ideas. All the players, as you're gonna be switching to the top, military barracks and counter barracks 1 and 1 for Gold Line, just now advancing really quite late, especially combined how quickly advance count from count, like about 45 seconds. That's quite a solid difference between the Atlanteans here. Let's see if it's gonna be making that much of a difference, as it's basically a build time of a villager, all of those seconds in there for him. And we are going to be right now watching what he's going to be doing with that advantage right now, count from count, as it still should be quite prompt, but maybe you're going to be seeing some secondary TC already taken fairly promptly, as matreiuss was trying to go for the raiding all the way through back on through hunters, as he has seen them through the proper scouting of the one oracle that was waiting in there, which was from the blue player, if I remember correctly, if I'm not completely and utterly mistaken, as the units are coming forward, all of them, and Gold Line, of course, will now have to be playing a bit more defensively, also needs to be having a manor next to the berries, because he's not going to be allowed to go anywhere else. Also having plenty of gold mines all the way to the top here. It's going to be fairly curious if he's going to be able to secure it somehow, because it shouldn't be all that hard. Bit of wall in there, and maybe there and there. Doesn't seem all that impossible for him to be able to capture all of that. But still, right now with the double, which apparently seems to be heading for the Atlantean, it's also going to be up to HerroOP to properly protect him and help him in the complete and utter defense. So it's going to be Valor already cast, quite obviously from Gold Line, and it seems like, to me, that HerroOP is going to be having a few more units right about now than Teal, and for a pretty obvious reason, because he's having like half the time to be covering the distance between his base and the distance of Gold Line than what matreiuss has to be doing, and therefore you're just gonna be waiting for some kind of proper engagements. It's gonna be all about the proper micro, and who's gonna be able to get, especially as I'm looking at the Atlanteans, who's gonna be able to get the Murmilos against the Herses, because right now this is looking like a... no... I was going to say that maybe Teal should have sent a few of those units that were pursuing that a bit back, because it almost seemed heading into a bit of a 2 versus 1 against HerroOP. Seems like they are so far doing quite a good job, but with Gold Line having such an easy time of replenishing the units in here and doing quite a good job with that, it's probably going to be resulting into a bit of a stalemate. But it really seems still that matreiuss and count from count are having ever slight advantage. On the score, they're actually leading by 100, which is fairly important at this point in the game. And what is actually going to be the difference in there all that much right now in the numbers? Is it going to be still the different advance time? Oh, it's going to be important shockwave. Important shockwave, as the other shockwave is still available, so he's going to be waiting for it. Right now, going to be casting it exactly in the middle of the fight, which might have seemed slightly late, because he didn't exactly throw all that many units away, to be honest. Kinda interesting decision. Maybe he was waiting for some kind of better engagement, or maybe, yeah, well, probably that was it. Nothing else is right now coming into my mind all that much, as Gold Line, or the Gold Line HerroOP, is going to be getting at least a troll, unfortunately spawning right into the back of the Herse, who's gonna be killing it completely and utterly, just like that. So that was fairly unfortunate, as a bit more to right. This troll seems to be kinda getting dead as well, as the Gold Line is gonna be fairly easily making short work of him. And of course the second DC is already up. That's something that we expected when we have seen Gold Line advancing a bit later. Fortunately the lost Ox Cart is certainly gonna be hurting, as they need to be going all the way to the bottom here, with another Ox Cart not on the way. And has he noticed yet? Right now he probably noticed, since he has seen those Heresiers there, but he's still not clicking in the Ox Cart. No, that's not gonna be exactly all that ideal for him altogether. As in the middle, there's gonna be a bit of a build-up by HerroOP that was attempting just to block the enemy path, and it seems that right now Teal is kinda like gathering his forces, having a bit of a problem. Oh well, that's an interesting relic, if this game is gonna be going a bit later. A bit later in there, as Klenger Shipblade with his friends doesn't seem to be having all that many numbers, especially combined. Finally there's the Ox Cart with Red Player, as Blue is right now trying to switch into bottom. And is somebody gonna be coming finally for towers, or did somebody already upgrade them? There's no upgrade yet. The towers haven't been researched by Gold Line at this point, as he's going for at least a bit of raiding himself. Second DC gonna be captured also by count for count. Question is if he's gonna be actually fast enough. He's having 3 citizens, so he should be fine against this little army as far as losing lives, especially since he did have manor. but they might be fast enough to at least disrupt it. But since there are not any kind of reinforcements at all being sent in, it's probably not any kind of problem. And that Valkyrie into the back of those Turmas. Damn, that's one hell of a good spawn. And well, right about now, Red will be trying to somehow put into the, or rather pull into the battle yet again. But unfortunately, Gold Lion is right now fighting this one lone Turma, being the MVP, quite solid kiting right there. Whole army after her, and it basically allowed a bit of a 2 versus 1 against HerroOP, who of course suffered immensely on the Herseers and on the hit points altogether. And we are going to be right now watching into yet another 2 versus 1, and this time it's gonna be HerroOP who's not gonna be involved all that much, only those 2 units. As at the back he doesn't have all that many, just a 3, and this was actually fairly important in there, and that might be one of the reasons why right about now matreiuss and Count could be having some kind of edge. But you can see that because of the second TC for Gold Lion, as he's getting some parallel economy, pretty much like parallel economy, as opposed to Count with only 1 TC getting up, it's gonna be resulting into way more units. And of course, since they are fighting next to his military buildings, he's gonna be having much more of a chance how to defend in there. Okay, so there we go. This is gonna be resulting into still quite a solid raiding, as apparently there have been at least matreiuss and Count able to kind of like divide the enemy armies, which is not that bad. As right now, well, matreiuss is not gonna be having a nice fight against all of those Murmelos. But thing is that right now the raiding all the back could be effective, but unfortunately Count didn't exactly find all that much of a success in that, and he's gonna be falling back and looking into some kind of proper 2v2 yet again, which seems to be against kind of like all odds. Oh, he's having only normal Murmelos though. Gold Line, that's maybe a bit of a shame. It's not gonna be that much different for Count, but with the better economy, maybe you could be expecting that the mediums could be already on the way, as Count is gonna be switching into plow and into, of course, the farming economy, the same as Gold Line has done already a bit before. As right now the engagement seems to be slightly breaking off, but not really for too long, it seems to me, because matreiuss with Count are still having plenty of units. But thing is that HerroOP is already preparing for the front TC, gonna be finishing it in pretty much no time, whereas his opponent matreiuss is not doing anything like that, and it might be quite a significant difference here. Gonna have to be sending the Herseers, and they almost seem to be heading for the TC. They seem to be heading that way. So either they are getting healed at the back, which is like a secondary option. Let's wait. Yeah, okay, they are only getting healed. They're only getting healed, so matreiuss trying to be playing efficiently, sending another batch to be to the hospital to be healed as well. But that's gonna be resulting into basically Count having only a few units forward, but he's also right now not investing into the army all at 100%, as he has decided to be going for the front TC, the one on the left, which unfortunately doesn't give him all that much, just literally just a bit of a population limit, and he's maybe gonna be trying at least to counter potentially some kind of idea that Gold Line could be having for the front TC himself. That is gonna be probably his task, with a bit of raiding still continue in the middle, but he doesn't have all that much of a chance how to block this gold mine, even though raiding here would be definitely dangerous for both HerroOP and for Gold Lion. I'm gonna be looking at the bottom, where the second TC so far for matreiuss is not coming up, whereas the second for HerroOP is already in. He's gonna be having quite a solid army, which still might be something, but unless he is heroic in, then the second TC will be paying. Yeah, he is. Alright, so right now exactly as we were talking about it, HerroOP is gonna be having a bit more potentially economy, but he's not gonna be having as much of an army. And the push with the flame weapons could be definitely dangerous for matreiuss, as matreiuss is gonna be close to being popped, right? No, he's popped, but he could be using extra house. Is he actually realizing that? Yes, he is. Yes, he is, but unfortunately he forgot to finish. I just starting to get healed in there. Okay, coming for the second TC himself at this point. And it's a fairly important one for him because of all the gold mines. Because you can see behind their bases they don't have anything. As the one safe gold for Count, whereas the one in the middle is fairly unsafe for all the players. They will have to wall in the middle, which they probably will do anyway for a bit later. But in the meantime, Count is having quite a solid arm in the middle. Even a few Cairo ballistae. Now that's gonna be a bit of a surprise. I'm not entirely certain if actually Gold Line saw all of that. But he's right now gonna be heading for a bit of a raiding in the middle. Talk about timing here. Reminds me of the last game. God damn it. That's unfortunate for Count. He's gonna be losing both of these. Not much of a chance he's gonna be surviving with at least one of them. So nicely played, but still he does have 3 TCs, so he's gonna be having quite a solid chance how to prevent the or rather how to recuperate from the losses. And he's gonna be pretty much the same disaster for Gold Line, apparently losing like 3 citizens, as he just doesn't have any kind of army whatsoever here at home. He's having everything just basically raiding around. So therefore, oh no! Count wasn't paying attention. He was probably looking at the TC at the back here. looking how to guard against that. So unfortunately for him, yeah, well, Gold Lion was paying attention all the way to the top, resulting into at least one still not dying. There was a tower in time in there, and all of them getting into safety, so nicely played. Manor has to be rebuilt in pretty risky place, but at the same time also kind of nicely defensive, and it's gonna be denying easy access to all the villages and to the TC as well in the end. So right now Teal is already pushing forward with quite a solid army, trying to get rid of the longhouses in the middle as he's being shot at by the TC, and Bragi is already in for HerroOP. So unfortunately, right now matreiuss didn't get any kind of significant power spike through having basically more units than his opponent, and for example attacking the TC, as it almost seems to be heading to me into some kind of engagement with double flaming weapons right now. It seems that actually matreiuss is thinking that he's having a bit upper hand in the battle, which to be honest is slightly questionable looking at the TC here. I don't think he's actually having all that much of an advantage as he's thinking that he's having. And HerroOP could be just turning on the spot and kinda really be quite nasty. His Mythical Age seems to be also like a thought for HerroOP, but I don't think he clicked in. No, he did not. But there we go, flame weapons versus flame weapons with right now TC shooting is gonna be all about the mythical spawns. As we are, here we go. And it's gonna be a battle war for the red players. So far we don't see anything else being spawned. Just the INR for Teal. That's gonna be like Mountain Giant also coming for Teal. And yet another right now battle war. So it seems that he's gonna be getting actually quite more and better spawns. You can see only throw 4 red. That certainly doesn't help enough. He's gonna be losing plenty of units here and the whole army. And unfortunately it's not resulting into the TC dead. And because yet again, this is the importance of having the military buildings right next to your battlefield. He's gonna be losing. If it wasn't for that, he just would be probably slightly winning. But yeah, right about now, yet is saving plenty of piggies, which are already plenty of them, of course, made from the temple. So there's gonna be a second attempt fairly quickly. Let's see if HerroOP is gonna be able to repair the TC quickly in time, as he's also getting the back TC, which is so far not what matreiuss is doing. And there is still some kind of army. So right now Count is taking the front TC from his opponent, waiting to basically disrupt the town center, I'm thinking. So just waiting when somebody's gonna be coming through this little pass, and he's gonna be catching him off guard altogether. As, oh well, piggies are going for a prowl. And they're gonna be coming for the Atlantean. Okay. And they maybe even will be getting healed in the process. There is certainly a possibility as well. Problem is that right now matreiuss is not exactly able to replenish all the units all that quickly. He doesn't seem to be having all that many military buildings. Basically, literally one temple, one long house. Well, right now, it's a few long houses here as well, but they're gonna be destroyed fairly promptly. As no, Frost Giant is fairly nice. That's gonna be helping freezing one of the mythical units. You can see he's already quite nicely microwing into the Mountain Giant. And also very nicely done. So right now the TC is gonna be now helping him, but he needs to be shooting something different than the battle bar. Like for example the Hersier, so that he doesn't get any more spawns. As right now Valkyrie is gonna be quite nicely helping, but could be probably tasking her, for example, against the mythical units. As well, myths do have bonus against each other. Right now we're gonna be heading all the way to the top, where the TC is gonna be getting destroyed, as the hero Contarai, or Contarius, is having a bit different ideas. Yeah, piggies flying all around, and there's gonna be a simultaneous effect. That, or rather attack, that's how many matreiuss is right now having. So he's gonna be having about like 8 of them, 7 right now, 8 probably somewhere hiding or whatever. So this one is gonna be slightly challenging. But you can see he needs to be repairing it at all costs with Hecate, and it seems kind of unlikely it's actually gonna be happening. So right now Contarius from the back. Yep, TC is gone, Hecate is gonna be gone as well. So goodbye Mythical Age for Gold Lion, fairly important, with the second TC being gone as well. So he cannot even place it into the second TC right about now. That was actually very well done by matreiuss, and I'm not entirely certain if he fully realizes this, but I would be kind of venturing guess that he might have. He actually might have, because we are at a time in, and with how the game is going, where he could be assuming that his opponent could be advancing Mythical Age. And he could have done this on purpose, not only to basically just completely strangle the opponent, but so that he can also prevent the Mythical Age somewhere on the way. That was extremely important, as a few green units are still raiding around, with apparently Stymphalian races all across. Well, the blue is having a few more hit points, so it's probably gonna be fine. Those Trumas I don't think are gonna be turned into heroes. I'm thinking highly unlikely at this stage, as HerroOP has been able to destroy the matreiuss' TC. So it almost seems like that right now HerroOP is gonna be able to push through matreiuss on the right flank. Question is if it's gonna be fast enough, because at this stage, well, with Gold Lion being at 0 TCs, and even though he's gonna be getting a second and third, and then he's gonna be clicking into the Mythical Age as well, which is still like about 90 seconds from getting finished, it's gonna be giving so much of an advantage to Count von Count, and I will be expecting him to be taking that with earnest. Rather. So it's gonna be double copper for him. Hecate for Gold Line, Shaft Mine, Fortified Town Center. Kind of interesting that actually Count is not going Mythic. Well, I mean, like he said 40 C's alright, but still. With an Atlantean, he maybe could be going there. You know, still Shaft Mine for him, so how's he looking for his resources? 900, so he's gonna be clicking in no time. But still, it's even more important right about now what happened from matreiuss onto the TCs. Because right about now, it could have been Mythical Age for Gold line for about half a minute already. And it's gonna be, in the end, like half a minute before Count is gonna be advancing himself, and Count is gonna be having so much stronger economy and pretty much everything all across. The Symphony Umbrellas are just basically right now running and trying to get some kind of villages so that they can be destroying them as well. Bit of a garden. You can see this one bird against them, flowing or rather flying below. It almost seemed like that actually the bird was like flying literally below them. It was flying straight, then slightly dropped, and then just basically was going up. And it was kind of interesting little moment, which I maybe misrepresented, but who knows. Maybe it was really going that way. But there we go. It's gonna be another attempt by matreiuss to potentially pick it up. But at this time, it probably seems that he's gonna have to be content with the one at the back, and he's gonna have to hope that he can at least prevent this from coming up too soon, so that he can wait for his opponent, or rather for his ally, to be killing the opponent on his side. As right now, blue is gonna be quite nicely preventing anything like gold mining for his opponents, because they're gonna be completely out at this stage. Yeah, they really don't have any kind of gold mine. Right now they're gonna be down to the last one that is already gone. They're gonna have to be switching to the bottom, which is actually quite nicely timed with getting the TC in here. The Tartaring it all the way to the back is probably gonna be fairly easily handled by matreiuss. He's having plenty of units in here, even a few piggies on top of that. So it shouldn't be all that hard right now to destroy that in just about like a half a minute. But otherwise, well, there's still plenty of army for Count waiting for the opponent to be going for the gold. But I don't think that's gonna be happening all that much. They're switching into another gold mine that is still available here, was slightly hidden in there. 3,000, but he needs to be moving all the way to the bottom. There are still many of them, and therefore they do have plenty of time. As right now, Red is trying to establish himself right next to the opponent, and he definitely has the power for that. As Thimble Winter for matreiuss is coming forward with Helios for Count. So a few jumping arounds are gonna be definitely necessary, and that is certainly not a bad idea, as it seems to me that Count might be having to help HerroOP quite quickly, as he's trying to destroy the temple at about now. HerroOP really is getting more of this game so far, and matreiuss will definitely need the assistance. So apparently double copper, the upgrades for that player. For the teal one, we are gonna be looking at what with already being through a double bronze. So he's actually very well upgraded, which is not much of a surprise considering that he was at a lower amount of TCs. And all the way to the back, there was a bit of a fun. They actually blocked there completely and utterly next to the wood line. Holy damn, that's unfortunate for HerroOP. He's gonna be losing all of those 3 piggies that were able to stop the settlement from coming up. But there we go. There's gonna be one vortex already to the top side. It's gonna be destroying the town center altogether for HerroOP, putting him into a bit of a manageable size. But with the Titan Gate already getting built all the way to the top, it seems way too close for all the army that Count is so far having. So what is he gonna be deciding to do? What he could be certainly using is a few more Hekagai guns. Where is the temple? Not building them. Come on, Count, build a few Hekagai guns. But it's kind of understandable for Count, because it's a bit like, at this point he's slightly old schooly. He has come back into the game in some kind of bigger capacity just a few months ago. So he's not exactly familiar with the rise of the Hekagai guns in the community. And they are used a whole lot more often lately, so maybe he just has to be learning it. That is actually something that is quite effective, as it wasn't done before all that much, when he was at his kind of like prime, let's say. And he's gonna be right now destroying the settlement quite easily, because you can see he does have only 45 TC, not even masons in there. Champion infantry secrets of the Titans as well, iron weapons for matreiuss. As all the way to the bottom, the battle is definitely not going, or going all that well for matreiuss, for pretty obvious reasons, to be honest, as the Titan is already halfway up, and well, villages are moving all across for the gold mine, but the dragon is exactly in their tow. 380 for speed, slightly faster, but the attack is gonna be always slowing him down. But still, it's kind of unfortunate, because he's gonna be having plenty of resistance against all of that. So you're gonna be waiting for potentially the next vortex, which is already available for Count, if he's gonna be having enough. But looking at all of the palaces and the towers, it seems kind of unlikely he's gonna be stopping it altogether. At least the 2 TCs have been destroyed for HerroOP, which should be resulting into pretty much the stop of the onslaught in the middle. It seems to be working rather well. But right now, here we go at the last moment. Like, holy damn, is he hoping that he can be stopping it now? That's definitely quite risky, especially since Hekagigant is not doing anything at all, just doing some random stuff, as Count is not looking into the battlefield. So that is gonna be Titan still up, and that was like a legit waste of Vortex. Legit waste of Vortex, and much worse, it's actually waste of army. It's a waste of complete and utter waste of the army because of all the shooting from the palaces and from those towers. So the idea was there, but it already really seemed a bit too late for attempting it. He's gonna be at least right now keeping his opponent slightly busy, maybe killing a few citizens here and there, keeping the Titan also to top. So maybe that was the idea for him. Maybe he just wanted to be keeping the Titan busy ever so slightly inside his base so that he can be having a bit more time for the Titan gate. Maybe. Maybe, but he certainly will be having right now to do quite a lot more defensive build-up so that he can be slowing the advance of the Titan, because otherwise he is already on his way and we're gonna be looking at quite solid trading. Villages flying absolutely every... Oh, well. Yeah, she's not getting away. She's absolutely not getting away. Poor girl. Being thrown, and she's gonna be having friends. She's not gonna be alone there. Okay, so they can be starting to basically replenish the world after this. Yeah, well. Little stories in the games, but otherwise the gold economy is pretty much gone for HerroOP yet again. Where have we seen that before? I'm kinda thinking it was the last game actually. And the game before as well. Or something along those lines. But anyway, there we go, a few lions, or other lions. Wolfies are coming back. With quite a solid army still. HerroOP is being kept basically 2 TCs, but this one seems to be really coming down fairly quickly. As you can see, all the piggies prepared for matreiuss. And all the way to the top, the Titan is already on its way, killing apparently plenty of units. You can see Murmills flying around. No, these are actually archive, based on the last body in there. And the Titan gate is right now at 70%. It seems highly unlikely that it's going to be able to stop it. So nice wall in. Not. No, 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 there's gonna be only one wall to go through, and that is definitely not enough, so the Titan gate is gonna be gone. Right now, the question is how much of an effect he's gonna be having out of that. I don't think that anything is gonna be coming out of it. He doesn't have army here, he doesn't have heroes, so therefore, the Titan is just gonna be... I don't know, he's losing maybe 200-300 hit points before he's gonna be destroying the Titan gate. So that is right now turning into quite a solid problem. I mean, like, there is still a bit of a chance for the green player to be coming back, but still he's at only right now basically 1 TC, as the Titan is eating 20 population limit. Therefore, it's not like he is having all that, like, a huge chance of coming back into the game. Even though there are gonna be TCs lost for the Atlantean, it doesn't have to be really all that bad. He's probably gonna be able to replace them fairly quickly, especially since he's already at 4 at this stage. And all the way to the bottom, there's gonna be a bit of a chance for matreiuss to finally claim a 3rd TC himself, as he's right now at 2, and HerroOP is only at 1, as the one to the backside hasn't been recaptured yet. This one has been captured, but the one in the middle is gonna be coming for him yet again, as it's quite an important one. Right next to is basically food economy there. So the gold is still here, probably not for much longer, 1300, and those poor guys here, they are actually still trying to switch. If you actually switch into other resource, you can be getting out of there, right? Because you're gonna be dropping all the food, or rather all the wood. If you switch into gold, then I'm thinking he would be dropping it yet again. Or is it actually dropping only when he reaches the resource? Right now I'm not entirely positive. I think that he actually loses it at the start. If I remember correctly, that's how it works in AOC. And now AOM, it's probably gonna be fairly similar. But right now HerroOP is pushing forward yet again, and matreiuss wasn't able to really help all that much here, help himself, as he's trying to get rid of the Titan, which I kinda think is not such a good choice. But at least he's going for solid raiding with the piggies all the way to the Goldblind's base, and he's gonna be keeping him even more basically pop. He's not gonna be having any kind of population limit whatsoever. He's not gonna be having apparently even any kind of units here, but he needs to be fairly careful inside his base, because those mountain giants, or the fire giants, are gonna be way too dangerous with their attack against the buildings. You can see fairly clever right now choice to be going after houses for matreiuss, and well, he's at least trying to sneak in the TC, and it's gonna be maybe slightly tricky, especially if HerroOP is gonna be noticing, which is not entirely ensured. I don't think he actually sees this. No, well, right now he does, so he's gonna be screwed. The TC is not coming for him. So right about now matreiuss is doing, rather trying to do a bit too much at this point. He is trying to play a bit too cute. Gonna be completely destroyed by HerroOP, who has a 2 TC, is gonna be at 3. Whereas what he should have definitely 100% million% done was secure the front TC and then go in for some kind of raid-in, because otherwise he's just basically inviting HerroOP to be abusing him again. And Count, he's having his hands full with the Titan running all around, who's gonna be right now destroyed. fairly quickly, it seems, as he's finally getting a few heroes. And it's gonna be the time when, well, it cannot come fast enough, as Goldline already seems to be a bit more interested in pushing forward with a few palaces. And even brazenly right about now, HerroOP going for the gold mine here. Really? Really? That's how confident he is that this, well, Titan is gonna be destroying it, sure. But that they're gonna be holding it? No, well, not entirely convinced on that, but still. There's gonna be still 3 TCs for Count. Plenty of units, well, not exactly plenty of units, just a few villages in there. And some caravans. Looking to be finally moving somewhere, as plenty of Herocers are moving forward and ahead into the middle of the enemy trade route and trying to build a few. I'm expecting maybe longhouses, but especially hill forts I would be expecting, as another vortex has been cast, and that has been cast actually don't know where, because I don't see any kind of blobs anywhere. Just gonna be quickly checking. Oh, there. Right there, right next to the battle here, as he's trying to basically stop the gold economy for HerroOP and also potentially destroy the Titan, and much more important, he needs to be destroying the TC, because so far this is very well played by Goldline with HerroOP, very nice cooperation, and this TC is definitely under solid threat of being stolen, even though I really thought it shouldn't be possible at all, as Count will have to be placing plenty of army and plenty of effort into this. He's gonna be right now at the 3 TCs already, yes he is, but he doesn't have military buildings all that nearby, so he's probably gonna be far from being housed, right? Yeah, 122 out of 160 own him, so he's definitely having issues. And Goldline is back at 3 TCs, so right now the situation is getting really problematic for Count with matreiuss, because they are still having to deal with like third of the hit points of the Titan. Right now those Herocers are gonna be just, yeah, well, kind of taking Herocers from the teal player for a bit of a tour all around. And much more importantly, matreiuss just wasn't able to take the TC back, and right now he's gonna be facing 4 TCs versus 2 yet again. And problem is that his opponent is well upgraded, champion throwing axe smell double bronze. He's actually missing shields completely. Completely missing shields. And Teal is a double iron, also missing shields in there. He doesn't need them against Norse, but against the buildings they can be coming in handy. And he just doesn't have the population limit, so HerroOP is just gonna be slaughtering him completely, unless there's gonna be some kind of build up in the middle, right into the trade route, which is something that could still be like the chance for them, finally. And, well, they definitely need to hurry up with that, with bronze weapons for Count and mythic rejuvenation for Goldline. Oh, is he gonna be trying to save the Titan's lives, even like that? Definitely not impossible, could be some kind of reality for him, but think this, that right now Goldline at 3 TCs already, and Count only at 2. This is looking really dire for matreiuss with Count, and it seems they might have squandered a chance at victory in there, with some kind of decisions that probably could have been done slightly differently. But let's not call it yet, they still do have quite plenty of fight in them, as there were a few Herocers all the way hidden to the back, as the Watchtowers attempted to basically do the same as is right now being done in the middle by matreiuss. But problem is that matreiuss right about now is facing basically the task of, with only 2 TCs, trying to disrupt trade in the middle, but at the same time he needs to be defending against 4 TCs attacking him at the same time. That's just a huge problem for him. And it's really quite a big issue that he might not be able to handle all that much. And with the 5 giants yet again inside his base, we have this a bit of a support that's probably going to be resulting into maybe even the TCB under assault fairly quickly. As right now those villages are moving into another gold mine, which is probably not going to be all that safe anymore, looking at the palace from Count. So yeah, those wolfies are going to be dead. Definitely a good idea, killing the Oxcans first, so that they are not going to be getting the gold at all. I'm just going to be checking into the economy right now. Count is at good resources. Population limit is missing, as the gold line is gonna be even stealing his front TC in there. HerroOP is having good gold and full pop limit at 4 TCs. Gold line is kinda alright. And matreiuss is, well, he's popped, but his economy is also not going all that well in there. But right now the 4 TC for Goldline, that kinda like has to be it. But let's not call it yet again, because there is still quite a bit of a fight for HerroOP, who needs to be putting a lot more effort into fighting right next to his base, as it seems. Those towers were quite a solid idea, but they're probably not gonna be finished all that easily. Some kind of teal blob all the way to the top, trying to block the llama caravans and all the other thingies there. As all the way into the middle, there's still the watchtower, plenty of idle villages, as the wood line is already gone, and apparently matreiuss not noticing all that well, as he doesn't even have all that much of a chance how to take down the hill fort, unfortunately, as he just doesn't have the options for that. He doesn't have the population limit to be fighting at 2 fronts at once, so he probably right now will be having like the only chance to be attacking the TC, since the red army was all the way to the top, but right now they're gonna be coming yet again all the way to the bottom, and hoping that it's going to be enough, as the Spirit Trees has been invoked by Count. And does he have still one? Nope. He has already used all the vortices, and he's actually trying to stop the trade altogether for the green player who does have already market rebuild in pretty good placement, as the Titan is still having quite plenty of hit points and gonna be killing yet another TC, with gold line being at 4 TCs already. Okay, so is there gonna be some kind of plan still? Economical guild even attempted to be built, maybe just a kind of blockage of the way, as he probably is gonna be having all the upgrades already. No, he's actually not having flat control. So for the farming, he could be improving that a bit. But right now he's gonna be dropping to only 1 TCs against 4 of his opponent, as he's trying to desperately go into the middle with all of its citizens, drop the palace, and maybe trying to really stop the trade altogether. But it doesn't seem it's gonna be even at this point mattering, because the Titan is way too strong, having way too many hit points at this point. Still 2,300 hit points. And he can just do whatever he wants in the enemy bases, because the enemy just doesn't have any kind of population limit to do anything with that at all. As this TC seems to be still standing without any kind of problem. You can see Teal trying to do what he can with at least a few units that he's still having. Well, the build up in the middle seems to be succeeding in the end, even though it cost a few citizen lives in there. But the towers are still coming, and maybe it doesn't have to be all that impossible. They're gonna be able to push in here through the middle. But the Fire Giants are certainly having a bit different idea about all of this. Yeah, special attack into the Heresiers in there, or the Heresiers into the civilians. But they're gonna be really making quite a short work of all of that, as Count von Count has lost another TC, so he's gonna be right now dropped to straight 0. And that seems really impossible at this stage, even with all the villagers waiting impatiently to be building the TC yet again. With the army and the palaces right on his doorstep, that is, yeah, beyond any kind of chance. And especially it also means that right now matreiuss is gonna be out of trade altogether. He doesn't have any kind of chance to be getting anywhere, as the one villager, yeah, well, the hero, gonna be dropping and stopping the Titan, as apparently the hero citizen is the last hero that will be potentially doing some damage against the Titan. She's actually not receiving any kind of damage whatsoever standing behind him. It's fairly curious. Not a single damage whatsoever. So maybe she could be actually stabbing him to death, but it's gonna be taking a long time. As you can see, the magic, or rather mythical rejuvenation is even slightly, almost at points, slightly stronger than actually the villager attack. Can see the rejuvenation going up quite quickly. Not yet. There we go. This is gonna be right now already called GG. And even though it looked like that actually Count for with matreiuss could be having some kind of chance how to move there. How to move there into the enemy bases in good numbers. And much more importantly, I'm thinking that matreiuss really missed the moment here taking this TC. He should have. That is probably the moment where the game was lost. That he didn't take the third TC for himself and basically let HerroOP come back. Well, that was the moment where maybe they could have won, and the Titan, unfortunately, yeah, that vortex also cost Count von Count the whole army, and he just wasn't able to recuperate from that in some kind of significant manner to potentially push into the enemy. I mean, like, at that situation, when your opponent is at only 2 TCs, you are at 4, then what basically could have happened is just basically attack with the army the enemy. You don't care about the TCs all that much. You really don't, because you're gonna be rebuilding them as fast as he's killing them, and you are already ahead on the town centers, and you should be really able to deal with the enemy no problem, because he is wasting 20 population limit on the Titan, which is like the whole TC. Yeah, well, that's kind of like easy for us to see here. They were probably having some kind of different ideas in the game, with, for example, the piggy raiding into the town centers on gold line, but it just did not work out, and the decisions, well, apparently needed to be made differently if they were to win, but they did not, and therefore we are gonna be tied and 1-1. Yeah, well, probably could have been going Titan faster than gold line. That is definitely possible. And definitely was a possibility in there. But there we go. This is gonna be right now the post game with gold line having quite a high score for pretty obvious reasons. They're already going into the game, so let's go quickly here. If there's something out of the ordinary. Quite decent amount of resources distributed between players. Especially you can see between Count and matreiuss, they were sending each other, depending on what they needed and when they needed it. And the Mythical Ages, curiously enough, at pretty much the same times for all of them. Yeah, well, that was quite a bit of a spike for HerroOP. Yeah, well, that's what 4TCs do to you. And your booming capabilities. Even though the army wasn't that much different in that. But that's why he was able to survive even at only like 2 and 1 TCs at one point. And Count's quite a good army there. Just unfortunately wasn't enough at that point. GG.